His name we bless forever and ever. We will dedicate someone that is in the hospital right now and giving birth. Be'ezrat Hashem, may Hashem bless her and keep her safe so she'll be healthy and the babies will be healthy as well. No harms will be nor to the mother or to the children. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam shehakol nihya bidvaro. I'm glad to see all those who participate today. I hope you have a place to sit. If you can't find a chair, please bring from the other room. We have only 50 chairs here. So I'm going to go directly to the halacha. Forget about introductions. Halacha about Yom Kippurim. Before Yom Kippurim, there is a one day that's called the 9th. The Yom Kippur is on the 10th of Tishrei, and the day prior to Yom Kippur is the 9th. We don't call it the day of an atonement, but the day of an atonement. Because Hashem gave us an opportunity once a year to change our mazal, to be anew, and all what we do, all what we did will be forgiven with a teshuvah. It's a combination of teshuvah, but it's a great opportunity. There is a very, I don't want to say very, but it's a strange like mitzvah that and the day before Yom Kippurim. What's so strange about it? There's a mitzvah to eat. It says if you eat before Yom Kippur on the 9th, which this year, 2024, is going to be on Friday, it will be considered as if you fasted for 2 days in a row. What's so great about it? Let me read the halacha and then we'll talk about it for a second. It is a mitzvah to eat and drink more than usual on the day before Yom Kippur. Our sages taught in the Tractate of Brachot 8b, Rosh Hashanah 9a, the verse states from Vayikra, from Leviticus 23:32, quote, "You must afflict yourselves on the 9th day of the month in the evening." Do we fast on the 9th? We fast on the 10th. This comes to teach us that if someone eats and drinks on the 9th, the Torah considers it as if he fasts both on the 9th and the 10th. The Rishonim, the rabbis, explain that this means that he will be rewarded as if the Torah had commanded us to fast on the 9th day as well, and he did so. So basically the whole idea is that one made preparation. You take it seriously. The very next day is a day of fasting. Rabbeinu Asher explained that like in a fable, saying it's like a father find out that his son has to fast the next day. So he urged them and he pushed them and he convinced them to make sure that he will go through that fast easily, that he should eat before and drink a lot, and he gave him even a menu, what's good and what's not good to eat before a fast day. He was really, really serious about it because he wants his son to succeed with his fast. Kind of like Rabbeinu Asher says, is with us. God wants us to succeed with the day that He gave us. God, Torah commanded us, God asked us from us 1 day a year to fast. That's it. The other fast day is rabbinical, right? But God says, on that day, I want you to go through that day and you'll be able to concentrate and to pray and to do a sincere teshuvah. In order to do that, you need to eat good amount of food, so you'll be able to go through that day. Now, obviously, we already said drinking is maybe the most important thing. Not drinking sodas or something with sweetness. Water, it's best. And not eating spicy / salty food. When one take care of that, he will go through that day relatively easily. Okay? Don't eat too much food. That's also a problem. So what people do in order to gain a lot of mitzvot every time they eat on the 9th, the day before, they eat small meals. So one time they will eat a cereal. Next time it will be a cake with, coffee, and then cookies, and then fruits, and then a bowl of rice, little by little. But at least you have one meal that one can say hamotzi. It can be a small meal, just say hamotzi, one. So some do, they knowing that every time I do this action, I do this eating thing, I get a reward, I get a mitzvah as part of preparation for the holy day. The mitzvah applies mainly during the day of 9 Tishrei, this year, tomorrow, Friday, and not on the previous night. What about women? Are they also have this mitzvah of eating and drinking on the 9th? Women, as well as men, are obligated to fulfill the mitzvah of eating and drinking on the day before Yom Kippur. So one asked a question, Rabbi, I got exemption from the doctor. He's sick, and he's not fasting. He's exempt from fasting. If he'll eat on the 9th, he will get reward. It's not his fault. He's sick. Allah says, someone who is dangerously ill and therefore exempt from fasting on Yom Kippur is nevertheless obligated to eat on the preceding day. So whatever it's in your power to do, do it. Regardless of what's going to happen tomorrow. We're living today, do what you got to do. In order to fulfill the mitzvah of eating on the day before Yom Kippur, in the best way possible, one should eat bread in at least one meal during the day. Okay. Usually every year, the whole year round, every Friday, we're not supposed to eat so much. Many people are even fasting on the day, or some people maybe only drink a coffee because they want to come for the kiddush with an appetite to enjoy the meal, and it's a great thing to do. This is not the case now because we won't have a kiddush. The next thing we do, we go to the shul to daven. So we're eating during the day, so nothing to worry about it. Even someone who devotes all his time to Torah study should stop the studies somewhat on this day in order to fulfill properly the mitzvah of eating. Also, likewise, one should cut off the work that he do on anything that he have on the schedule on that day in order to fulfill properly the mitzvah of eating on the 9th. If someone performs labor on this day, he will not profit from that labor at all. Highly recommended not to work the day before Yom Kippur. This day is Friday, right?
What about if you unavoidable, let's say
emergency, you have to. You're a doctor, you're waiting for a shipment. If they don't drop the shipment, you're gonna get a big loss or something, then fine, you have to. One should eat light food on the day before Yom Kippur, food that are quickly and easily digested. If someone feels bloated with satiety, what is it? Satiety when he prays, I guess full.
Satiety.
S-A-T. Yeah.
Full.
How you say it? Satiety? Satiety. It's not a common word. I know. It is? It's not a common word, right? Satiety. Okay. All right. Satiety when he prays, he will likely to feel, as you say, bloated, and he feel that he's full, and this is very undesirable on this sacred evening. In the afternoon, men must avoid eating foods that are the tendency to cause men to have wet dreams. Okay, it's something to discuss another time. It is particularly, the Masechet Brachot talks about what does that mean, in Masechet Yoma also. It is particularly undesirable for this to occur during the night of Yom Kippur. In the morning, however, the custom is to permit dairy foods without fear of these consequences. Do you know that there is a custom to eat fish? if you can eat tuna, you can eat salmon, whatever, but it's customary to eat fish on the day before Yom Kippur. Some people have the custom of eating fish in the morning in honor of this sacred day. There is a story actually about in the Bereshit Rabbah in chapter Yud Aleph there, talks about a pious man, a poor man, but he was a pious, he was a tzaddik, chassid, righteous, that he every year on Yom Kippur, beside everything else that he do, made sure to have fish to eat before Yom Kippur. And he ran to the market to buy fish. Who else went there? The servant of the governor. They went there together. And the seller says, hey, I have one fish. There's 2 buyers. So I'm going to auction it. Whoever gives me the highest bidder, gets it. So they were bidding back and forth, back and forth. Turns out that the pious gave 12 coins of gold coins for that. It's an enormous amount. It's like, let's say, I don't know, $1,200 for a fish that cost $30. Okay, they were bidding back and forth, and he took it. He won. So the governor, waiting for his lunch, starting to eat lunch, and see there's no fish. He called the servant. What's up with the fish? So he told them, I went to the market. It was one fish. And now the Jew came there. We were bidding, and 12 golden coins for a fish. I was sure you would not agree for such a price. So I gave up. He says, who's this guy? Bring him here. So they sent the servant, and he brought this Jew, a pious, before the governor. And the governor told him, I know you that you are not a rich man. Okay? Why you made so much effort to buy with such a high price? It's beyond your ability. And the reply says, we Jews have one day each year called Yom Kippur, when God forgive us for all the sins we have committed throughout the year. In honor for such a special day, should we not go out with all our resources? Well said, exclaimed the governor. You are free to go home, celebrate your holy day. So bottom line, you know what happens at the very end. When the tailor, it was a poor tailor. When the tailor arrived home, he began preparing the fish for the meal. He sliced open its belly and discovered that it has swallowed an enormous jewel, enabling him to support his old age. At some point, Hashem rewarding you for a mitzvah. He had to pass that test. He got his money back and much more. It is forbidden to fast on the day before Yom Kippur, even if someone experienced a nightmare during the previous night. Why we need to have this halacha here? What's up with that? Basically, because we are permitted to fast, to fast on Shabbat, and to go through the ta'anit chalom. Okay, a fast for a bad dream, even through Shabbat, because that person, his mind is bothered. He saw this dream many times. He wants to do this Ta'anit Chalam. It's called Ta'anit Chalam, a fast for a bad dream. So he permitted it on Shabbat, but he will make it up for it during the week. You have to fast another day for fasting on Shabbat, breaking Oneg Shabbat. But for him now, that's the Oneg. That's if he fasts on Shabbat, it makes him feel better, that he atoned for something and so forth and so on. But on Yom Kippur, there is no fasting. There's fasting anyway. We're fasting anyways, right? So you have to postpone that to another day. I would like to speak a little bit about... so any questions here? We all good on eating before? Okay. So that's a mitzvah. We gain a great mitzvah for fasting, and we great mitzvah for preparing, eating the day before, this Friday. Rabbi Cohen gave me some more information to share, and ideas why we get rewarded. If you eat few meals on Friday, it'll be considered as if you were fasting 2 days. One of the reasons is because for the preparation. You prepare yourself so you'll be strong enough the next day. For that preparation, you get paid. And Hashem consider it, you fasted 2 days. Okay? Nothing to complain. And another thing is, there's a reason why we're eating the day before, because of Simcha. Simcha, Rabbi Yonah says that, but Yosef, we reach that point that we are fasting on Yom Kippur. Some people that we know didn't reach that day. They passed away, right? But God gave us the opportunity, and for that reason alone, we should celebrate. And according to the Mekubalim and the Zohar, he mentioned that the reason is it's a suffering for the neshama. But when you eat for that sake, for it, that the neshama will gain a lot of spirituality, is considered as a great mitzvah to do. Okay, much more to discuss, but I want to move on. I want to talk about kaparot. What do we know about kaparot? That's my next topic. Shimon 605. Dine kaparot. I will summarize it. I think I'm going to skip all of it. Just summarize it in one. Let me give it to you, this halacha in a nutshell. What it says here basically is there's a great mitzvah to do it with a chicken. It's not so simple. You have to have a chicken male for a male, female for a female. If she's pregnant, it's 2 and 3, and you have to have a shochet. It's a mess. It's not so simple, especially when the shochatim standing there all day long, and there is a concern, there is a fear that they might not do the shechita properly, and they don't really check the knives all the time as they should. So they might do kapara with the chicken that is treif. And beside that, people, what do you do with the chicken? You give it to the poor. And some people feel uncomfortable to get a chicken that was used for your own sins. You know, they don't. Who will be willing to accept something like that? Beside other problems, okay. So the best methods will be what is it?
Money.
With money. Money, you can do it to the person in front of you or from a distance. Doesn't have to be there for that. You take the money, follow what it says in the Siddur, say the Nusach, and you're all good. The money will go to the car, and people feel comfortable to get it, receive it in different ways, but it's not, the chicken. It can be in different ways of paying it, meaning it could be money, it could be checking order, check, Zelle, doesn't matter. The idea is the kavana and the actions, meaning you can send the rabbi Zelle, whatever amount, and he write on the note your name, and you do the kapara above your name, or even without doing that, it's still good, because he mentioned your name and said the special wordings that connected to it. It's good enough, okay? And I said every year, and I send a message, anyone that wants me to do kaparot for him, just contact me privately on my phone. We do it every year for everybody that wants to do that. What's the minimum amount? How much money? What would be the minimum? So we're saying, I heard someone from Israel, one of the rabbis says 60 shekels. 60 shekels, I think like $25. I'm saying maybe 18 will be good enough. The size siman chai, and bottom line, it's the value of a meal. What's the value of a meal? $20, $18, no? $25, whatever you feel like you want to give. You can give and dedicate it. So one should give for himself, for his wife, and the amount of children that they have. If the wife is pregnant, it's good to give for the children for the babies in the mother's womb as well. And dedicating this tzedakah to go to those who really need tzedakah. We're done with that. Any questions about kaparot?
You do it tomorrow, does the money have to be given tomorrow, or can it be dedicated tomorrow and given at the same time?
It's best to be given, can be given from today, for the sake of doing it tomorrow. Okay? If you're not, it's uncapable. Some people say, listen, it happens to me more than once. Rabbi, I prefer to give you cash. Okay, fine. So I write this dedication, and it should be good enough. Okay? Anyone has questions about that? I do long distance. I did from people from Arizona, California. All that. Okay? You can do that yourself and give the money to everybody you know that is in need. If you don't know anybody or you don't want to embarrass everybody, go to your local rabbi. Or, as we said, Ohev Israel, we are taking care of it for you. Just make sure to write the names of the family members. That's it.
What about, like, if you have married children, grown up to do
You have to do for, they can do for themselves. If you want to give for them as well, you can put their names also. No big deal. Okay. The next topic will be, any questions about that? We all good? We can move on? Good. Just give me a signal 5 minutes before the class, maybe 7 minutes before.
What time is it? 6:40, meaning?
I think so.
Okay.
Another great mitzvah that every year all the rabbis talk about. A great mitzvah to do before Yom Kippur. What is this mitzvah? Excuse me. Appeasing one's pair before Yom Kippur. Did I say it right?
What?
Appeasing one's peers.
Peers,
okay.
P-E-R-S.
Yeah.
Peers. Peers before, your fellow friends. Right? Before Yom Kippur. So I see there's a bad blood over here, bad ketchup over here. Yeah, you're working at it.
I'm gonna come over on the ground a little bit.
Let's see who's going to go first. You'll get the greatest mitzvah. Okay, if someone has physically injured another person, stolen from him, or cheated him in any manner, Yom Kippur will not grant him any atonement at all for his sins until he pays that person for the damages he has caused him. Hashem says, I can forgive for the sins between you and me. But when you insulted or you hurt your friends, who did you sin to? To whom you sin? To whom?
To your friends.
No, not only your friends. To whom? To Hashem. Hashem says, don't do it. So you've sinned before God and before Him. So you can ask forgiveness. It's forgiven, maybe. But Hashem says, I'm waiting to see if your friend will forgive you. Otherwise, I can't forgive for the sin you did to him. You broke a law from the Torah. Ahavta recha kamocha. You should love your friend. Or don't cheat, or don't steal, or don't kill, or whatever. It's another story. Okay? Besides paying for the damage, he must beg that person to forgive him for having wronged him. Only then is it possible that he will be forgiven by God for that sin. Here brings a lot of examples. I'm going to skip. I think we got the idea. What if someone said, I didn't steal, I didn't cheat, I just, we made fun, we made jokes. We're joking with each other, Even if someone gave him a nickname, for example. Even if someone has only insulted another person verbally, without causing him any loss of money or property, he must still beg him for his forgiveness. He is guilty of the sin of ona'at devarim, verbal abuse. Okay? The verbal abuse is a sin more severe than swindling and fraud, since the former attacks that the person himself and the later attacks only his property. If someone publicly shames another person, shames. I don't see with this glass, I'm telling you. Shames another person, his sin is atonement to murder, equal to murder. I told you this before. It says in the book of Musar that one will go to Shemaim after he died, and then you see a whole list of killing that he made in his life. 25 people that he murdered. I didn't kill a fly in my life. How is it possible? And they're going to show him that he insulted a person so badly in front of many people. It's considered as if he murdered him. Okay, but we can get away with this. We can ask for forgiveness, and all going to be good. What if someone committed a sin with his friend's wife, for example? If someone commits adultery, right, with a consenting married woman, she is forbidden to remain married to her husband. After the husband discovers that has taken place and verifies it, he must divorce his wife. The adulterer has thus committed a sin ben adam lechavero, between menstrual friends, since he has caused great harm to the husband, and he must apologize and beg the husband to forgive him, as explained above. If someone steals property from someone else, he must apologize. Certainly in this case, an apology is forthcoming, and the sinner will not receive atonement until he begs the husband to forgive him. Unfortunately, this sin become very common lately in these generations. The story I hear, it's beyond our imagination, even within Haredi's families. Okay? Disgusting to the level I can't even discuss. I get upset when I talk about it. Okay, such a chutzpah, it's unbelievable. Bye. What if someone talks about someone else lashon hara? The other guy doesn't know, but if he asks for forgiveness, now he'll know that he spoke lashon hara about him. What do you do? What do you do in that case? So listen to this. If someone spoke disparagingly, lashon hara. If someone spoke disparagingly about another person, but that person is unaware of it, he should not reveal to that person that he did this to him. If he would reveal it to him, it would probably upset and anger him. Instead, he should simply ask him to forgive him, quote, for any wrongs he might have done to him. He will speak with him in very general words. Just want to come ask forgiveness. What did you do wrong? No, I don't know. Maybe if I did, or I don't remember. You remember, just in case. Okay. So he said, for any wrongs he might have done to him. Likewise, if someone insults another person, thank you, Larry, and that person is unaware of who perpetrated this wrong, okay, who doesn't know who's behind it, it would be incorrect to come forward and identify himself as the perpetrator. That would certainly inflame the victim's anger. Therefore, he should not identify himself, and instead, he should simply ask him to forgive him for any wrongs he might have done to him. This is that the verse refers to in Tehillim, in Psalms, saying, it is Psalms 32:1. Fortunate is he who is forgiven for his crime, and whose sin remains cloaked in secrecy. Yes. Right? We got it? Something that people don't do, really. They don't ask forgiveness from their parents. You can do it over the phone. You don't have to be there. If they live close to you, obviously you must go. Everyone must beg forgiveness from his parents and from his Torah mentors. Okay? For it may be that he sinned to them unwittingly. Same.
Same thing.
Absolutely. There's something called ona'at dvarim. You can't cheat even your little child. For example, you can't say to your child, if you finish to eat this, I'll give you a candy. You finish it and you don't give him a candy. Why? It's called onas dvarim. It's a verbal abuse. Why? If I say to my friend, hey, you got to come watch the game with me. If you don't come, I don't give you a beer, or I don't give you this. Let's say he comes and you eat something else. He doesn't care about the beer. He knows you're joking. But with a child, he take it seriously. He doesn't know that you're joking. Mm-hmm. So he's waiting for the candy. Okay? Even if you forget, it's still on as dvarim. So we can never say such thing to a kid unless we have intention to give it to them for real. All right? And people do that all the time. One second. Wow. The Ben Ish Chai in Parashat Vayikra, Halacha 6, wrote that it is imperative for every person to beg his father and mother to forgive him on the day before Yom Kippur for all the times that he related to them without the proper respect. Anyone who does not bother to do this is a sinner, for this displays a gross lack of respect for them. A lot of questions raised from here. What if the father is an abuser? What if the mother is, so we judge it differently, in a different way, okay? But we're talking about a normal house. The kids can be upset with the kids always get upset with the parents. It's always like that, right? But not to the degree that the father or the mother was abusers. You know what I mean? Okay. The question comes even if they need to see tshiva for them. If the father was an abuser and hit them, if they exempt or not exempt. It is almost impossible for anyone to claim that he has treated his parents properly without wronging them, and so on. Certainly must apologize and beg them to forgive those wrongs, even more than it is necessary to apologize to others. Nevertheless, the Ben Ish Chai continued, if one's son has no common sense, let's say he's a shoite, it doesn't have sense, and he does not bother to apologize, or if he cannot do so for some reason, the parents should still declare, we hereby forgive our son for all that he has wronged us throughout the year. He should not be punished, God forbid, because of anything he has done to us. So don't wait for the kids to come to you. Say that. Release them, because if you're angry with them, they will suffer. They can get stuck where they're at because you still have qaidah on them. Forgive. Forget it. They come, they won't come. Hashem will, Bezrat Hashem, will bless them with lights so they can come and apologize. Okay, last minute. I think the father, also husband and wife should forgive to each other. It's best to do it directly and not with a messenger. Unless the case is that guy, if you come to his house, he'll punch you in the face or kick you out of the house. So you can start with text message, start softly, send the messenger, start soften things and prepare the road for that. I want to wish you Shabbat Shalom and Gmar Chatima Tova. May Hashem accept our tefillot. It's the day of atonement. We should take it seriously and we should have a meaningful fast. Shabbat Shalom.